Hello everybody, this is Umberto from Max Fitness and welcome back to my channel. On today's video, I will show you how you should be doing your lunges. Let's see first why I think many people are actually getting this exercise wrong. It all has to do with weightlifting itself. Why do we lift weights? Well, we know all the benefits, we don't need to discuss all of those, but in reality, all we are just doing is just fighting gravity. What we want to do though is we want to fight gravity in the most efficient way as possible. When we talk about lunges, it's all about weight distribution, where it's gonna go, if it's behind the gravity line or in the front of the gravity line. So you will need to learn how to shift your body in order to accomplish the effect of the right effect of the exercise. When we perform the lunges, we are aiming for having a 70-30 weight distribution. So what does it mean? It means that we want to have 70% of the job done by the front leg and 30% of the job done by the back leg. In the way, you're gonna have enough support and thrust to bring your weight back up again. So what we work on when we work on the lunges? Well, obviously it's gonna be mainly lower body focused, but it does require a right adjustments done by the upper body as well. At the end of the day, your legs are the one moving your trunk, your torso, your head, your hands. So whatever is at the top has to be shifted back and forth, and that can make the job a little bit harder for your legs. So let's have a look first at the possible errors or the things that I already seen in past that they're not so great for your lunges. Number one, we are talking about the forward lunges, where people tend to keep the back leg so stiff and so hard that it's actually pushing the front knee forward and they cannot go down enough. Also, when they're coming back up, they're actually struggling. The leg cannot take that much pressure. When we look at the gravity in that case, so your body has shifted forward. So that's one thing that your body has to fight harder. Your front leg is finding itself having more pressure because you're also possibly a bit leaning towards it. So you're gonna put more pressure on your toes than it is on your heel. And the back leg, because it's so stiff, is actually pushing towards the front leg even more. So you're gonna have so much pressure on one leg that it will be very hard coming back up again on your lunge. And if you do, after performing few, you're gonna feel your knees suffering quite a fair bit. The other mistake I see is the totally opposite one, where you're actually staying more on your toes are lifting off the floor, and the back leg is now suffering because it's getting most of the weight. So in that case, there is not a 70-30 distribution. If we are talking more about a 40-60. And because of the position, there is a big mechanical disadvantage in that case. We talk a bit about engineering now, but that's all we are trying to create, is a mechanical advantage where you can use all the strength you have to lift the most weight for the longest period of time. Another mistake I see is actually something to do with the stance that you're holding, how wide or narrow you go. If you go too wide, you're gonna find yourself going sideways. If you go too narrow or possibly on a line, you're gonna lose the balance much easily. So what you want is start from a hips width and then perform your step, either backward or forward, and then go down. In the way, the gravity line is also staying in between the 2 feet. And you're not gonna shift side to side either. So now let's have a look at what will be the optimal lunge. You can either perform it forward or backward, but the instructions are going to be the same for all the options. So you can have a back lunge, you can have a forward lunge. Now, for when we start performing the lunges for the first time, I recommend actually to do the back lunge first. So learn from there and then see how it feels going forward. Simply because when you step forward, you might load your toes, the front of your foot, a bit more because we are used to, and it doesn't create much pressure on your heels. Now, why we need pressure on all foot? Simply because if you are having all the weight on the front, you know you're training more the top of your leg. When the weight is all at the back, you're training more your glutes and hamstrings. So again, optimally, we want to feel the foot having an even distribution of the weight, so you know the full leg is actually engaged and working out in the specific moment. So as I said, we do the back step first. How far you want to go, it depends again what you want to work on. At the moment, let's start from a simple lunge. You do a step. Now at this stage, you need to check how much resistance there is on this leg and on that leg. And also you need to check if you're leaning forward. Now if I go like this, the back leg is actually pushing, the front leg is working already really hard, and the balance is gone. So from me already, if I try to go down, everything is compromised. So in order for me to perform a proper lunge, I have to shift my weight back. So as you can see, now my trunk has to do something, has to stay stiff, you need to keep balance, and you need to prepare to descend. When you go down, keep your toes down, and the back leg has to relax to allow you to go down. So it's gonna look more like this. You're gonna bend the knee, and there is a drop. When you push back up, mainly has to come from that, but the back leg will also assist. You breathe in, you hold your breath, push, come back up. Remember to brace. If you don't remember how to do it, there is a link up here for a video that we created for breathing and breathing that you can go and have a look at. And yes, you need to brace as well when you're performing your lunges. So now let's look at other options. If I go on a big wide lunge, I'm gonna actually work more on the glutes on this side, simply because I'm shifting the weight slightly back. So a big lunge is gonna create more pressure on the back of the leg. As you can see, the knee doesn't bend as much anymore, and that will create more tension on the hamstrings and glutes. So if in this position I wanna come back up, I'm gonna find myself in the middle again. You can also make your step quite short. So again, from this position, starting, let's make it even shorter. Chest out, the technique will remain exactly the same. You wanna drop the back knee and go down, keeping the gravity line in the middle. As you can see now, my knee has moved forward quite a fair bit, and it's okay. That's why we do a short step, to allow the knee to actually go forward. In this case, we're working more on the quads. You're gonna feel also a big stretch on the calf, and if you're actually struggling to keep your heel down, I've created another video that is gonna come next week to allow you to get your calf a bit more relaxed and get extra ankle mobility. Get the chest out, push back up. The method is exactly the same. If you're suffering of toes pain or arthritis, I'm gonna create another video for you guys coming soon. So keep an eye and possibly switch on the notification bell, so whenever it comes up, you will be notified and you will be aware of it. So now I'll show you again from the front. Hips stance, step back, keep the stance. Don't allow your foot to go back in, chest out. Go down, push back up, and you should be able to generate quite a lot of power as well. That's it guys, that was all for today. Thank you very much for watching, so keep an eye on the coming videos for the following weeks, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you will be notified when there is a new video coming up, and I will see you soon. Goodbye.